Our speaker today is the Senior Deputy Editor of the Hindu Business Line, and he's a journalist for 27 years. He writes on IT, cybersecurity, startups, agriculture, and commodities. He earned a gold medal award, Kapila Gopala Rao Memorial Medal from the Andhra University. Currently, he is based in Hyderabad, Telangana, India. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Kanchi Kurmanath.
Good morning, all of you. Good afternoon, rather, the Filipinos. I have been writing on agriculture for the last 20 years. Without delving on directly, go to my experiences. I think that will help the participants more. The genetic engineering has arrived in India. Much time on delving on what is agri-biotechnology and all that. I will tell the India's experience, and as a journalist, I will tell my experience. So in India, by and large, the biotechnology in agriculture was introduced about 20 years ago. Obviously, in cotton, India is one of the major cotton producers in the world. But no, India was facing a major problem. It is still facing of the pink bollworm. Because of that, farmers are losing heavily. So biotechnology was introduced. A BT cotton variety was introduced in 2002-2003 timeframe. But by 2004, 2005, the practice, the using of biotechnology has gone up significantly. So the idea was to tackle the pink bollworm, the major problem, and also in that process to help farmers improving the yields. So, but the introduction itself was created a kind of major controversy. The way they pushed the technology into the country, there was not much discussion. Without much discussion, they introduced this. So because of that, huge opposition was there in 2004, 2005 with farmers unions, non-governmental organizations, rising flags about the technology. Are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, can someone help move to the next slide? I have shared the presentation with Sony. Is it possible, or
you cannot move it? You cannot move it yourself?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So as I was saying, it was marked by a kind of confusion. It's a lack of information for stakeholders, a kind of misinformation too, because of in the absence of proper information, and then silence from the government and regulators. And it is only one-way communication from the government spokesman and farmers unions, and no iron curtains around regulation and permissions given to BT cotton trades. And poor flow of information. Journalists were, we faced a serious challenge in the form of poor flow of information. So it is a kind of the situation of journalists is like this. The technology was new, the problem was new, and there was no experts around to deal with, and the multinational companies and the local companies which have introduced the BT cotton, no one actually was ready to share information. No one was ready to reach out to journalists, the key stakeholders in the whole scenario, on what is it about, what are the issues, what are the challenges. That was the dilemma of journalists. The issues were many. what is the agriculture biotechnology about? Till then, no, agriculture reporters have been covering the typical traditional agriculture. The issues were known: the kharif season, the summer season, the winter season, the procurement, harvest in the summer season, and no, the harvest in the winter season. All these issues were known. It was a kind of beaten track. No, but since agri biotechnology was a new subject, most of us were clueless. What is it about? What are the issues? How to understand these challenges? What are the concerns? And then no, the issues, NGOs were quick enough to understand the problem, and no, they started disseminating information about the whole thing. The flow of information from farmers unions and NGOs was far more than the company side, and also from the regulator side. The we were people were concerned about the safety of the technology and no contamination of the contamination problems. What if the biotechnology traits that were introduced in cotton, what if these traits will go to the staple food crops? That was a major concern before us. And issues related to permissions also. There is a regulator under Union Ministry of Environment and Forest, that is called GEAC, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. Now the name has been changed to Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee. The committee is the sole authority of the Indian government to to vet the applications from the multinational companies, the mostly the agri biotech companies, and give permissions for trials. And then the other major challenge was factors that determined pricing. In the initial days, the pricing of the seed of biotech seeds, BT cotton seed, was so high. It was as high as some about say $30 as against $1-2 of the real seed cost. The remaining 80% went to the royalty. 80% royalty and 20% is the actual seed cost. So this has created yet another challenge because the local government, the regional government, some of the regional cotton growing states, we call them, some of the states have objected to the huge royalty component, which has tremendously increased the cost of production for farmers. So some state governments were very strict. They insisted that the price should be only some about say some $10, not more than $10. This has created opposition from the companies. The company said no, it was like this. Monsanto gave the technology to a joint venture, and though the joint venture sold the technology to Indian seed producers. So the seed producers, this local seed manufacturer, they were to the right value, and no, they have to remit the same to the joint venture set up by Monsanto. Since the component was so high, farmers were because of the political sensitivity of this, they insisted that it be that is about some say $12.
Yeah, actually, no. I will just wrap it up in 2 minutes.
Okay.
It was tough, building rapport with the contacts, the relevant people from the government, from the company side, and also from the farmers unions. So it was a bit challenging for journalists to develop. It took some 2-3 years for us to develop. And then my feeling, I have covered, still covering. The controversies are still around. BT3, there is a talk of biotechnology 2 is up for introduction in the country. The companies are about to seek permissions to introduce BT3. At another round of challenges we are going to take. My advice and my experience is that a journalist should not take sides. On the science side, on the on the introduction of the technology, we have to cover the regularly the developments we need to cover, and also from the government, from farmers unions, from NGOs, we need to raise the flag. Whatever concerns they are saying, we have to cover, and the government view. All these three sides, we have to constantly keep in touch with them. We have to give equal voice to each of them, so that the reader will have an informed view of the situation. As personally, I don't believe in taking a personal view of this and impose it on the readers. Since a reader is the only stakeholder of a journalist, I personally feel, and I advise also, to give equal importance to each of the stakeholders, so that reader will have a holistic view on the subject. Thank you very much.
Yes, very well. Those are good takeaways. Thank you so much, Mr. Cumana.